Okay, so we're going to start with talking about what Okecbot does. So, firstly, I presume you have Google Chrome on your computer.
Yes.
Okay, so now what your normal Google Chrome does is for you to browse. So, you open it up, you browse. Now, in this your Google Chrome, you have like lots of accounts, profiles. So, you could maybe log into one account with Efe at gmail.com. In another account, you could do maybe Sabinus at gmail.com. What I'm practically trying to say is that on your Google Chrome, you can have so many different accounts. Now, each of these accounts, as you use them to browse, as you use them to, watch videos on YouTube, check your emails, do different things, they will keep building up what we call browser history, cache, cookies.
Yeah.
So now, depending on how long you've been using this browser profiles, when they perform anything, it could be seen as legit or not legit. So let's say, for instance, now you have a website. Now, this your website, you're not earning money from it. So maybe what you knew before was to head over to Facebook. When you go to Facebook, you run sponsored advertisements, and then you now bring people from Facebook into your website. Now, I think you already know by now that the problem with this approach is that it doesn't really work as it used to be before.
Yeah.
One, you will do it, you will have art limits. Sometimes you will do it, it's as if the money you spent on the advertisement is even greater than what you actually
The
got.
money you get.
Yes, what you
Yes.
got back. So it now becomes a very stupid business where you run at loss, but the loss is not even a problem. It's the days you spent. You ran this for 1 month, and for one whole month you're expecting to get something at the end of the whole thing, only for you to just even maybe break even, or you're even on the losing side. Then they will tell you probably to use bots. But when people tell you about bots, this is where you now start getting to see bots like Traffic Bot Pro, Epic Bots Pro, all these bots. So what do these bots do? Now, most of these bots, they're just very simple. They will try to open a Google Chrome for you. But each time they open a Google Chrome, they will open it for you as incognito mode. So just like when you want to browse and you don't want anything to save, that incognito mode, that privacy mode. Now that is
Yeah.
what most of these bots does. They just open it as incognito mode. Now when they open it up, the good thing about it is that instead of you to go to your computer and type www.mywebsite.com, or instead of you to copy it and paste it, most of these bots will just automatically open up the Google Chrome, but then make it open up your website. So it's not as if it will just open up so many browsers, right? It will open up so many browsers, and each of these browser it opens, all of them. The moment it opens them, it will have them open your website link. Now, what this thing gives you usually is website visits. But the problem with this approach now is that Google is very smart. So if this thing is always incognito mode, the moment this person opens the site, they don't ever see this person again. You use the bot, oh, you'll be seeing impressions, oh, you'll be seeing earnings, oh, you even click, you will make money, oh. But all of a sudden, boom, you wake up one day, they tell you either they put you at limits, the next thing they suspend you, the next thing the account is gone, or they might just deduct everything you ever think you made, and you will not see minus.
Yeah.
So now, what Okecbot does, it's almost cloning the original Google Chrome. So just like you have your normal Google Chrome now, that is legit. You can use it to do so many things, You can have so many accounts on your normal Google Chrome. And with all these accounts, you will log into different email. Like account one at Gmail, account two at Gmail, account three at Gmail. Now Okecbot still does that same thing. But where Okecbot supersedes is you can create thousands of profiles. You can create like 1,000 profile. Now, instead of that thing other bots used to do, where they will just open so many browsers, and when they open all of them, they will now start making all of them open your websites, all as incognito mode. Okecbot does almost the opposite. On Okecbot, you can make it visit other people's websites. You can make it make other Google searches. You can make it be in so many other places. So, routinely, one of them can just wake up and search for insurance on Google, go off, come back again, maybe towards the afternoon, search for something different, right? So each of them can creatively, it's as if you're a human being now, the way you use your browser, but instead of you to be using it as a human being, the Okecbot's code itself keeps running it. Now, how does it relate to your own earnings? It's very simple. Now, what Okecbot gives you now is the ability to use different proxy. So let's assume right now you have created lots of browser profile. If you're using your computer, it's very, very stressful. For instance, now imagine where you open lots of Google profile. If you're using one IP address, it's the same IP address that will be used for Efe. It's the same thing that will be used for Sabinus. Except when you open Efe, you switch VPN. Then when you want to enter Sabinus, you now off close Efe, off the location and change it and that one and open Sabinus. You see how stressful it is. But what Okecbot does is immediately you can try it out. You can put in lots of proxy servers for different browser. So you can buy US location, you can buy UK location, you can spread it on all these browsers. And then you cannot be giving them unique things. What is the unique things? Like instead of just opening your website, you can make it okay. Make Google search. So if you head over to Google, search for something like maybe insurance, maybe investments, mortgage. Now, the good thing is because Okecbot saves that cookie, it doesn't do that thing other people does, that incognito. It doesn't do incognito. Okecbot manages any place you have been to, the browser history, the whole thing about that browser, it's all there. It's like it backs it up. So each time it opens any website, each time it opens your own website, each time it goes anywhere, Google already knows that this is Okecbot. Sorry, Google already knows that this is like a real human being because they've
A
seen this.
real user.
Yes, a real user. They've seen this user before. So that is the only way Okecbot is able to actually make what it makes. So now there is a manual on how it works. You could use the manual, you could go through the software. The only problem I think with this whole thing is that your computer is 8 gig. If you had like a computer, 8 gig is the minimum, but if you had a computer like 16 gig and above, you would have gotten tremendous results. So the only way you can be getting results is to leave your computer for like 12 hours. So what you could do is maybe at night, 7 p.m., you just switch it on, you let it be, maybe till the following day. Now, depending on whatever location you're driving traffic from, if you're driving traffic from, let's say, in a country like Canada, I think Canada is like 5 hours behind, or is it 5 hours ahead? Okay, Canada is 5 hours behind. So if this is so 6 here in Nigeria, Canada should be 12. So you'll be the person to say, okay, this is where I want my traffic to be coming from. I will get all the good processes, put them on all this browser profile, and let these browsers, let it open Google, let it make Google search, let it do so many things, let it see open my website. So that's the only thing Okecbot actually does for you.
Okay, but when what about the email? Is it my phone that always creates the email, then log it in into all of them?
Firstly, the way Okecbot really works, that email comes in more. When the email becomes important is when you're doing something like YouTube. That's because YouTube has this stronger authority if an account is
Yes.
logged in. Now, for that one, there are two ways. You could go through the stress of creating lots of email, or you could buy from data brokers. The people who will call data brokers. Now, what these people do is they create, it's just their job. They create thousands of email and they will just create them and keep. Then, when you want to buy, you can buy like 100 email from them for like 30K or 35K. If you check through my YouTube channel, there was one guy that we interviewed one time. He buys like 200 Gmail account verified with phone numbers because I thought they were doing it then. So you could buy from data brokers. You could go through this the stress of creating. Initially, we used to be able to create it okay, but it's not really easy again to do that because then we used to use what we call like a bypass, but Google has made it compulsory. We use phone number. And so now, because of that phone number, the only way we're able to do it was to use a third party. So there's this third party vendor. Then they give you like a virtual phone number. Then
Yes,
any
version of.
yes, then any message that drops through that phone number, you get it from an API. But then we now figured out that if we tell people now to start buying virtual phone number to now be able to now create Gmail, I was not yet complex enough to now make it commercial. But for me myself, I can create 20,000 Gmails today. I already have the endpoint if I want to verify phone numbers. But publicly, you can't do it on the version of Okecbot I have already for you guys to download at the moment.
But I'm just seeing that that phone number on may be an issue. But as you say, you can buy from people. Well, what if the person still sell the same thing that he gave to me to another person? Won't it affect my own? Or if I get it, I will change the login.
Yes, obviously, that should actually even be the first step. It's always like that. That's like the number one thing with data brokers. Most times they even resell. They're like people who used to sell land to four people. Is who is smart
I'm
enough
telling
to
you.
is who is smart enough to do two-factor authentication and change password and actually have the account. Sometimes they'll sell an account for you, only for you to log in again. It's logged out, and they'll tell you there's nothing they can do. They won't tell you that it's the other person that was able to do the two-factor and all that.
But is it like I'm still talking about the email? If I log it into my phone,
Okay.
my phone and change it, it will not change the location of the email.
Okay, if you log into your phone and change the password,
Yes.
okay, if it will not, if it won't affect your,
Yeah, the location for the email, because I know the email they will be saying US email, UK email.
okay, firstly, the only way they determine your location basically is from your searches. And then if you're logged into a mobile device, they can also know from your mobile device. Like Google have this Google
Yes.
Map system that works, right? But however, even if you have the email logged in on your phone, you could still have it logged in from the US. Me, for instance, now I have some of my devices that are always on a VPN, and on this VPN, they're always US stuff. Like I have lots of, in fact, most of the apps I used to work are usually US based app. They don't accept Nigeria, so I have my way of using Gray and so many other things. So I have like strong VPNs and proxies on those network. But men still, the emails I use there, I still have them on my Nigeria non-VPN phone, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can have an email with two different locations. It doesn't matter. Mm.
And again, the email having more history. As I say, those people they don't just create it and just leave it like that. They don't do it. They don't use it to back like
No,
cookies. Like say,
no. Who
they
has
just create it and leave it.
Yes, now we have time to do that one for you.
Okay.
How much are you paying them? Now that is where the bot comes in. Because the bot can
Okay.
actually do those activities. It means when you buy those email, they're not like an asset to you. For instance, now the way we load YouTube is we can buy like let's say 300 emails, and then we'll just log these 300 email into different bots, give them maybe different locations, different servers, write similar things like search for crypto, find any random video that comes from the result, watch, come up with, I think we have a version, you must have seen it, is the Okecbot GPT, the one that uses OpenAI's API. It will generate unique Google searches around crypto. It will search for those things. If it opens, it watch the video. Now, where those bots come sweet, where they become profitable is if you take that 300 profile now and you just make them open any of your YouTube video from the US or whatever location, any advertisement they click, it's almost the same thing as somebody that has 5,000 views. I don't even understand the kind of
Yes.
adverts they see. The CPC, their RPM is very high. That clicking on one of them, it's almost equivalent to having 5,000 maybe normal views. So if you now have three of them and you generate 200 clicks, that is where you start seeing things like $20 a day, $30 a day from just 300 visitors. Mm. These things are easy to practicalize. When they say it and you're practicalizing it, before you know, as each day passes, you'll be like, okay, I understand it's easier. For instance, now if you're to get started, this is the first thing to do. You're going to first of all learn how to just make browsers to visit every other website, search for different things, and open your own site. You don't click. It's called social engineering. Like you can make this browser search for mortgage, visit other mortgage sites, and then they should now open your own site. Now, each time they open your site, you'll be watching to make sure that the kind of ads they show to those profiles are things that has to do with mortgage. After like 1 week of practice this one, the following week you can now start clicking. So if you have like 500 browsers, you can say, okay, today I want to click 150 or 200. So you could sit down and do the clicking yourself, or depending on whichever Okecbot plan, because we have different subscription. Depending on the one you choose, there is one that does automatic clicking. You just put how many clicks you want in a day, how many views, how many impressions, and it just does the whole thing for you automatically. Okay, till we'll see next time. Take care for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay.
Sorry, please, I want to ask something.
Okay.
Concerning, you said we were going to use proxies now. So that
Yes.
I will still be arranging myself.
Okay.
I was arranging myself on what and what I have to keep in ground and in terms of the process, in terms of how much or something like that, so that I will start keeping
Okay.
track of that one.
Before you reached out to us, what was your budget like? How much did you have ready to move?
Concerning the budget of a thing, it depends on whatever I see on ground in what to do. Even if I no get, na person don lose money for Google head. Even many of the accounts have been suspended, blocked. You understand? Even when we did the manual loading, normal manual loading, you understand? Even when I did manual loading. So, but concerning YouTube's own aspect, it is okay. But I'm talking about the proxy. Let me know the type of proxy where I go the budget myself because I've tried their proxy before. Especially because I did use them for manual loading, for manual loading. Yeah. So that if there's any changes, so that I will still set up myself for it.
Okay. That's question regarding to prosy. It's really very relative. I would say it's easy to answer when I know you're ready to go. Let's say, for
Okay.
instance, you're ready to go right now for a website. Now, for a
Yeah.
website, we would need more of different IPs because we want to mimic people coming in from different part of the world. Now,
Yes.
on something like this, we would buy maybe mobile ISP. Now,
Okay.
it's gonna be capped where they give you like maybe 20 gig, 30 gig for as low as 100, as much as $100.